Equestria, crystallization of ponies is not contagious, and it's not permanent. Unreliable sources have confirmed that 6 ponies, a baby dragon, and a loquacious burning duck were crystallized following the incident at the Crystal Empire. No need to be alarmed. Crystallization is completely harmless and, I repeat, not contagious. What's that, Plank? Plank? What happened? No! Okay, apparently crystallization is the first sign of a horribly degenerative disease and is aggressively contagious. Alright, start panicking. I'm Joe Stevens, and this is the Equestria Inquirer, Season 3! Good evening, Ponyville. Apologies for the panicking. You can stop your panicking now. Apparently crystallization is not contagious. That was just something Rarity made up because she's jealous because she can't be shiny all the time. Feeling better, Plank? It's okay? It's alright. Okay, something Rarity did not make up, however, is our top story. Ponyville, the crystal ponies have been saved! Chromium ponies, however, have been left for dead. Unreliable sources have confirmed that with the help of Spike and a slight amount of assistance by Twilight Sparkle, the crystal ponies of the ancient Crystal Empire have been saved from complete destruction by an ancient evil. The chrome ponies of the ancient Chromium Empire, however, have been left to their fate and allowed to suffer a horribly painful destruction by an ancient evil. It seems that at the same time that the long-thought destroyed Crystal Empire reappeared, several other ancient empires also emerged. The Chromium Empire, the Igneous Rock Empire, the Gak Empire, and even a Plutonium Empire. A wide array of empires ranging across the periodic table of children's toy merchandisable elements. These all appeared at the same time, and save for the Crystal Empire, were all allowed to be completely destroyed. The Chromium Empire suffered the worst of the terrors as a shadowy Emperor pony engulfed the land in darkness eternal. The Platinum Empire, made up of platinum ponies, suffered a similar fate at the hands of this creature. We asked the ancient evil if he was going to bind the bling-laden ponies to his will for all of time, to which he replied, "Yeah!" The newly re-elected Princess Celestia released a statement as to why she allowed dozens of different ponies that all deserved a spot on the targeted locations of Who to Defend. She stated, "It is with great regret that we only target one type of pony to save. These ponies had their lives shelved for years in waiting. Now they have lost their chance at a space on the shelf of life, and we mourn their loss. There is no clear reason why crystal ponies or any other type of elemental pony appeared all at once. Unreliable sources have suggested that 2 ponies of unbelievable power may have summoned these empires. Little is known of these 2 powerful ponies, only that their names are Murch and Dice. If Murch and Dice can summon new ponies from beyond existence, we may have encountered a dark chapter for Equestria." Rumors of a Plutonium Empire existed briefly until a large mushroom cloud appeared in the distance, which Scootaloo was casually walking away from while carrying a baseball bat. And the Gak Empire sort of, well, melted, and we're pretty sure we're happy it's gone. Analysis looked to place blame on Princess Celestia for the drastic cuts in the military as a reason for such devastation across the kingdom. Twilight Sparkle and the rest of Main Team 6 were able to save the Crystal Ponies, and while Princess Luna was dispatched, she was powerless to protect the Sodium Empire once it started raining. With such limited resources, it is difficult to assess if the equestrian military can combat the powerful ponies Murch and Dice. But we can be certain that this will not be the last time their influence will be felt in Equestria.
Hey kids! Do you like weird textures and temporarily making people think you just blew your nose really hard? Get some Gak! It's the almost toy with 10 billion uses! Throw it at things, pretend it's mucus, ruin your other toys. Eat it, you can probably eat it. Put it on burgers and act like you didn't to get some poor cashier in trouble if that's how you get your kicks. Make a meme out of it. Make sculptures that just won't stay made. Throw in more stuff. So many uses. Knowing we'll never progress beyond this as a species is depressing, but it's so worth it. Jack. Do not eat gack.
In other news, an angry mob has destroyed half of the newly saved Crystal Empire upon seeing Rainbow Dash beat up Fluttershy. More on this in a moment, but first, here's Tech Rat with this week's Mares in a Minute.
Thanks, Joe. Yes, lots of big news coming out of the Crystal Empire. So much so that I have 2 stories for you this week. So let's get right into it. Teachers everywhere are filing formal complaints to the Equestrian Department of Education this week in protest of Princess Celestia's new form of standardized testing, which she has implemented in every school in Equestria. This testing will be used to grade each school in the land on a common scale and will determine how much financial support each school will receive from the equestrian government. It is not the unfair administration of a standardized exam that has the teachers in an uproar, however. It is that the exam requires each student to save an ancient, persecuted civilization from an evil, omnipotent dictator. Princess Celestia indicated that she has already tried out this new testing approach on her prize student, Twilight Sparkle, and found it to be mostly successful. Many teachers argue, however, that their students can't even begin to compare to Twilight and are not adequately prepared to rescue entire societies or defeat nasty supervillains. Cheerily lamented that her students typically fail her written history tests and doesn't understand how they are supposed to figure out the precise location of a mythological artifact, which is the only way to drive back a ghastly demonic force. Twist was one of the first students to take the new standardized exam. She was sent to a faraway land deep in the Marazon jungle where a tribe of onyx ponies were being enslaved by the evil Chancellor Bitterface. There she was tasked with finding the obsidian pancreas to drive back the hordes of doom. She wound up getting a D- and failed to free the slaves. Twist said afterwards that being a savior is hard. I guess I need to study more. As a result, government funding for Cheerilee's school was cut by 5%. Teachers are also complaining that there are only so many oppressed nations that exist in Equestria, and that eventually they are going to run out of ponies to save. In response, Princess Celestia has recommended that each school invest in the creation of an artificial society and hire actors, stuntmen, and special effects experts to simulate a nation in distress. This left Cheerilee at a loss, as she has no idea how her school is going to pay for all that. In reply, Princess Celestia recommended a bake sale. And in other news, reports are coming in from the Crystal Empire that many of its inhabitants are still not satisfied with their quality of life. Although they say that the efforts of the main 6 to restore hope and happiness to their society by reviving the Crystal Fair are appreciated, they also say it is not enough. They insist that the real reason for their sadness isn't because their empire lacked a petting zoo, but because they are simply horrified that they are going to trip over something, crash to the ground, and shatter into a million pieces. Forget about saving the crystal ponies with their history. They say they'd rather be saved with packing material. Crystal ponies, as their name implies, are composed entirely of crystal, and as such share the qualities of crystal, namely that they have the resilience of a Fabergé egg. This turns such common things like curbs and tree roots into horrifying death traps. One wrong step, one unexpected tumble, and all the princess's stallions won't be putting them back together again. King Sombra knew this. That's why he hid the crystal heart behind 100 flights of stairs. These ponies say that it is incredibly stressful to live every day, constantly watching that they don't bump into something too hard, for fear of cracking their body in half. As such, they are demanding that Princess Celestia invest more time and resources to implement additional safety precautions for the Empire, including covering all hard surfaces with 6 inches of bubble wrap, providing boxes of styrofoam peanuts to sleep in, and substituting all soft, fluffy pillows with softer, fluffier pillows. They also want to ban anything that could easily cause breakage, including sledgehammers, tuning forks, and opera singers. Even mundane activities such as hugs, brohoofs, and belly bumps could have disastrous consequences and cause unexpected amputations if done too vigorously. For this reason, and to inform and warn any tourists, all crystal ponies would be required to wear signs that say fragile, handle with care, and do not drop. Lastly, Rarity would be banned from the Crystal Empire. Though she does not pose a breakage risk, her unquenchable lust for gems does make her a kidnapping risk, and the Crystal Ponies are afraid of being abducted and carted back to Ponyville to be held captive in the basement of Carousel Boutique. Rarity has denied that she is planning to abduct any crystal ponies, and says the only reason she was walking around and asking every pony, "Does this rack smell like chloroform to you?" is because she really was just curious. After some consideration, Princess Celestia has agreed to these requests, and promises that she will begin implementing the changes within the next few weeks. In celebration, the crystal ponies vigorously hugged, belly bumped, and bro-hoofed each other. It took the Empire's janitorial staff 3 days to sweep up the remains. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Tech Rat. We are continuing to monitor the mob that was formed in the Crystal Empire. Upon watching the jousting match between Rainbow Dash and Fluttershy, Crystal Ponies seem to have abandoned all reason and are now destroying everything in their path in a blind rage. Unreliable sources confirm that the source of their fury is Fluttershy. More on this in a moment, but first, here's LTT Moose with this week's Horseshoes and Hand Grenades.
Thank you, Joe. I am LTT Moose, and this is Horseshoes and Hand Grenades. It seems that after mastering the ability to channel fear and hatred into a concentrated beam of energy, local librarian and savior of the Crystal Empire, Twilight Sparkle, has so far used that dread power only to open doors. On orders from Princess Celestia, no one is to tell her it can be used for other things! Unreliable sources from within Canterlot have confirmed that Princess Celestia had demonstrated the ability to Twilight before sending her on her Arctic expedition. Evidently, she never expected the young pony to immediately copy the power and use it towards her own ends. Now, thankfully, those ends have only related to doors and the manner of their opening and closing. During her adventure, Miss Sparkle tapped into her superpowered evil side in order to overcome one of King Sombra's traps. Since then, she has blasted her black-horned, green-eyed, magic-purple evil beam at various objects throughout the Empire in an attempt to find out if they open more doors. While this has yielded very few doors, residents of the Crystal Empire are now being warned to be on the lookout for newly sentient carnivorous houseplants. Also, heads up, they shoot fire now. It is currently unknown if Twilight is aware that the Forbidden Arts are capable of non-door related abilities. Some believe that the evil door manipulation is merely a slippery slope, and given Twilight's prior inclinations toward madness, it's only a matter of time until she forces every pony to obey her will, which would probably involve some sort of compulsory ancient magical studies course for 3 credit hours for with lab. Others have advocated maintaining Twilight's apparent ignorance, seeing as she can already remove our gravity at will. Her brother and Captain of the Royal Guard, Shining Armor, spoke out on Twilight's behalf.
Twilight would never do something like that. If I know my sister, it's probably all part of some research report she's writing. She loves those things. Besides, if she ever gets out of hand, I can always throw cadence at her.
Despite being blasted into chunky salsa, we were able to get King Sombra's reaction to the irony of Twilight's use of his own dark powers against him.
Foolish samurai! Your sources are as pathetic as your swordsmanship. Clearly, you have confused the great Aku with someone else. Be gone from my sight!
Throwing caution to the wind, I decided to broach the subject to Twilight herself, high atop her new residence at what is now known as the Fortress of Tardiness.
Oh, don't worry about it. King Sombra is defeated, and in place of the Dark Lord, there is now a queen! Not dark, but sparkly as the dusk, organized as the library, stronger than Big Macintosh! All shall study and despair!
Thank you, LTT Moose. Continuing our coverage of the mob now wreaking havoc in the Crystal Empire, we can now tell you that the source of this calamity is Fluttershy. Seeing Fluttershy joust Rainbow Dash was apparently the first time Crystal Ponies had ever actually seen Fluttershy. Witnessing something so adorable for the first time is a dangerous circumstance in even the most controlled of circumstances. This is why both the Equestrian Health Administration and a bunch of diabetic teenagers who should have known better recommend that a pony be introduced to Fluttershy in gradual, clinically safe conditions. The Crystal Ponies, already overcome with the joy that is witnessing Fluttershy, had to then witness Rainbow Dash stabbing her in the face with a lance. Even ponies who'd lived under exposure to Fluttershy their entire lives would have repelled at such a sight. The Crystal Ponies saw Rainbow Dash beating up Fluttershy and immediately lost all grip on sanity and self-restraint, and sought nothing but the destruction of Rainbow Dash as vengeance. More on this in a moment, but first, here's Mason Alcat with this week's Chomping at the Bit.
I have just received disturbing news that someone on Earth has broken a pinky promise. I have personally sent Tech Rat's intern to the scene with a camera to get a better picture of what's going on. Has anyone seen Pinkie today? She's usually running my videos. Anyone know where she is?
Hello, Alley Cat of Mason. Pinkie of Pie ask I come what help with, take care of big problem.
Well, wonderful, Ivan. I'm glad you could help. Did she happen to mention what kind of problem it was?
Miss Pie say many cakes be wasted if she not go, but she also say she make plans some pony pay for this. Ivan did not ask why, but I say, okay, that can help. So here Ivan is.
I'm glad you're here, Ivan. Well, ready to open the link to intern's feed?
Da, okay, here is feed.
Is that Paleo? Paleo! What's going on over there?
I can't talk right now. Pinkie is chasing me. She has a cake and isn't afraid to use it.
Paleo! Wait.
What is it, Hirasashi?
Quickly, come this way. She'll never find you.
It was because of you I'm in this mess. You made me Pinkie promise that I wouldn't eat Pinkie's cake. Then you handed me a piece.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Run!
Get back here! Oh, hiya, Mason. I'm looking for two real good Pinkie promise breakers. Did you see which way they went?
Let's say no.
You don't sound too confident in your answer. You're not hiding anything, are you?
No.
Okay. Talk to you later. Come back here!
This isn't going to end well. Ivan, have you seen the portal cannon? Pinkie usually keeps it around here just in case.
Da, here it is, Mason.
Thanks, Ivan. Where do those three get off to? Come on, intern. Let's go see if we can put a stop to this. Back to you, Joe.
Thank you, Mason Alcat. Hey, look! We've received a letter from a freelancer. Let me just read it. Well, I tuned into your show in good faith, hoping to hear the news about all that is happening in our fair kingdom. I must say that I am most disappointed. While you carry much violent and scandalous content, including terrible gossip about our two wonderful princesses, I find very little good news or wholesome content indeed. One matter of particular moment to me personally is the absolute lack of anything appropriate for uplifting little foals. However, as I myself have some experience at entertaining the young, I have hit upon a solution. A segment narrated by myself, containing wonderful age-appropriate stories and educational material for our future leaders. For the foals of today are the stallions and mares of tomorrow, are they not, the little dears? And though I am loath to descend to the level of threat, I must warn you that should you not accept, both I and the other members of the Equestrian Blanket Knitters and Tea Society shall henceforth avoid your shows like the Cutie Pox, and will campaign to have your scandalous program removed from the airways completely? Okay, well, hoping that does not go into this dire situation, I remain your humble and servant, Auntie Ude. Oh, and apparently there's some audio too.
Greetings, my sweet, innocent, uncorrupted young minds. Welcome to Ponytales with your dear Auntie Ude. This week, we have a charming fairy tale entitled The Story of Clarisse and Horace. Is traditional equestrian fairy tale, children. Very educational. Once upon a time, there were two dear little foals named Clarisse and Horace, who were brother and sister. They lived in the middle of a deep dark wood in poverty, but happiness, until their mother slowly starved to death, and their father, maddened by grief, and in a drunken stupor, stuck them so full of pins that... pins. This is from the children's section. Someone doesn't know Dewey Decimal. Oh, here we are. Oh, that some kind fairy spirit would take pity on us now that our mother is non-viable. Just then, a magical fairy seahorse appeared to them and said, "Your wish is granted. Just follow this road all the way to the end, where your fortune awaits you." Thanking their fairy benefactor or benefactress or benefactorette, the two little foes set off down the road when suddenly a bloody axe, as if it had a will of its own, came hurtling down the road behind them, swinging mercilessly at their helpless little... How many pages does this go on? Here we are. Never mind that. Here we go. Having arrived at the bridge, Cloris and Horace began to cross it when up from the bubbling water beneath came floating the skulls of all the little foes who had trod it before and failed miserably, their souls screaming in anguish as they were hurled into perdition. Twilight Sparkle told me this was a children's book. I'll get you for this. Now. Here we go. Then the beautiful little bird spat its venom into Cloris's face, causing her eyes to sizzle like a couple of eggs frying in a... Let's skip past that part, shall we? Here we are. Nothing can go wrong now. They come at last to a beautiful house made entirely of cupcakes and muffins. Cupcakes and muffins. Pinkie and Derpy would enjoy that, wouldn't they, my dears? And began to assuage their hunger when the door opened and out stepped a kindly old zebra lady. "Oh, hey, my pretties," she greeted them. "Would you like more delicious sweets? Then enter, that I may feed you." It's getting really good now. The two little foes could hardly believe their good fortune, and as they were occupied with the sweetmeats given to them, the zebra pulled out a great cleaver and killed them both at once, tossing them into a saucepan where she cooked them thoroughly for... What? That's it? That's how it ends? This is the children's section? Think. Oh, yes, don't worry, children. Yes, and, I didn't notice, but it continues. Here we go. Then suddenly, for no apparent reason, Cloris and Horace suddenly came back to life, and the zebra unzipped her costume to reveal herself as their mother, who, for some inexplicable reason, was also no longer non-viable. And just at that moment, there was a knock at the door, which turned out to be their father, smiling happily as he showed them a certificate from Alfalfaholics Anonymous, and thus reunited in the house made of food, they lived in happiness and contentment for the rest of their days. I'm sure we all enjoyed that story, and this is never going to happen again. Oh, my dear sweet ones, I will see you again next time. Until then, this is Auntie Ermintrude from Ponytails, saying farewell.
Thank you, Freelancer. I think. The story of rioting after witnessing Rainbow Dash beating up Fluttershy continues to develop. Rainbow Dash was easily able to avoid the raging mob and simply fly away. This did not, however, stop the furious Crystal Ponies, as they continue to destroy everything and anything out of a spirit of vengeance for seeing Fluttershy cry. Some ponies have suggested Rainbow Dash be sent to the mob for appeasement, and hope having her torn to shreds at the mob's hooves will return the Crystal Ponies to peace. Rainbow Dash, however, disagrees with this plan. The riot, it seems, will have to run its course as Crystal Ponies release their anger upon themselves and their city. To prevent such riots in the future, ponies suggest that the next time an ancient empire of ponies is discovered, Fluttershy should stay home. Or at least Rainbow Dash should stop hitting her with medieval weaponry. I'm Joe Stevens, and this has been the Equestria Inquirer. Good night, and good luck.
I think we lost her.
Dude, I'm tired of running.
Aha! I found you!
Wait! Pinkie! Is all this necessary?
But they broke a Pinkie promise! They said they wouldn't eat my cake! Mason, they promised!
As much cake as you eat, I don't think you're gonna starve to death if Paleo and Hero eat one slice of your cake. I agree, though, they should apologize for breaking a Pinkie promise. You doubly so, Hirosashi. I swear you three are as bad as my kids.
We're sorry, Pinkie Pie.
Well, I guess I should forgive you. Just don't let it happen again. So, who wants to party?
I'm game.
Me too.
Well, I'm glad that got resolved.